So today I want us to talk to the parents. What are the challenges that you're facing in parenting teenagers through a crisis? That is our topic today, parenting teenagers through a crisis. Because we are having a crisis right now that we are dealing with, which is in the name of COVID-19. The children are at home. Some of the parents do not even know what to do with them. Some of them are praying so hard that the schools reopen and they are sent back to school. So what are some of the things that we can do with our teenagers that we help them out in this crisis? There are different crises that they go through, and we are going to try and tackle some of them so that we assist our parents out there so that they don't break our marriage, because teenagers are really breaking marriages in our generation this time, and we pray that from this program, there will be healing that will flow to the families, healing that will flow to marriages and to the children as well. So to tackle this topic, I found none other than a wonderful lady that is here, that is a counselor, is a principal, a teacher by profession, and she's just the right person to speak on this topic because she has interacted. She's also a parent and a big sister and so that so many things. So she's out there dealing with the teenagers, and she's also able to teach us how to walk through with the teenagers. So karibu sana, Madam Pauline. Karibu sana. Just introduce yourself to our viewers. Just tell them who you are, what you do, and some of the accolades you have.
Thank you, Kanjagwa, and thank you for the platform. Thank you, Elevate TV, for a session to talk to and share with fellow parents. My name is Pauline Mugambi, and like you heard, I'm a teacher and a counselor, and I am passionate about the youth, mostly the teenagers. I find myself more comfortable around them, and at least by the interaction, I can say something on this topic and maybe give us a way forward. So thank you very much.
So thank you very much for that. We really appreciate that you have given your time and also allowed yourself to be here. And we know that it is a sacrifice that you have made. So thank you very much. And I believe that out there you know that she's the right person to talk about this, having interacted with the children and having been a parent at the same time. So there's COVID-19. I want us to just have this conversation because COVID-19 is real. And last year we stayed with our children at home, and so many things happened then, and we thought that now we are free. At least they will go back to school, and they will be going back to school after every 3 weeks. So the only time that we are together in 3 weeks, na hizo 3 weeks tunawatuma kwa shosho. Then again we are given 7 weeks to stay with the children, and we don't know where to begin. So for you as a teacher and interacting with the children, especially when they came back to school, what are some of the things that you noticed, some of the things that they either talked to you about or they expressed without even talking, the nonverbal cues that you could pick out that happened in that period that they were at home?
COVID-19 is real, and we are really praying that it goes away. And we know it will. And as per now, we are very sure that we are going back to school even after these weeks are over, even after the Form 4s now have started finishing their exams. And to go back to your question, the students came back really changed. And even as the parents were leaving us with the children, they had complaints here, there, and everywhere. And the parents seemed like the better option. Actually, the school seemed like the better option for children. There are those parents who got a chance to actually interact and to create beautiful bonds with their children. They're able to learn what their children can do, what they cannot do. They got a chance to train their children into other things apart from book academic excellence. Some made their children open their eyes broad, involved them in their businesses even though when they were at home. And those ones had very good reports. And for some, they were like, I wish I could do now homeschooling. But then the greatest chunk was, we are so happy they are opening. You know, we just were asking when will they come back. And the reason is there was a disconnect when the children were at home. remember, these parents have not been having these children most of the time, especially for those who are in boarding schools, because they only close for a short time, and that period of time, the parent is still working. So I leave early, I come back late. So I don't know my child. Then all of a sudden, here they are. And most parents went to the extent of now involving them academically through the internet. And for the parent, it was right because they thought they were helping their students or their children. But then on the other hand, these children are faster like us. Kanjago, I tell you, these people are even faster than us.
Very true.
Anaingia internet na anasonga kusonga. By the time you're going online, they've already switched to something that will make you feel that they're doing something. But then most are those who went away to an extent that even when they came back to school, it was very difficult to bring them back. Other challenges that were nearly cutting across is the strained relationships for now, these families that were not able to work together. And the children were like, I didn't know my parents hated me that much. And it was not about hate, it was because a privilege was withdrawn at some point. And the children felt, this is hatred. Akinyanganywa simu, apana, my parents hate me, you know. If they are denied a period for watching telly, it was, they don't love me anymore. And when they were coming back, it was already war at home. And school seemed to be a safer place, but again, also it was not comfortable.
Very true.
So it was a matter of listening and listening a lot. And mostly even girls were sexually assaulted over that period. Their mental state, just to highlight only one instance that stood out for me is one student who felt that she was now not good enough.
Wow.
She was not good enough. Maybe the parents were really making a lot of noise at home, and God take away all the wisdom he has given me, all the academic ability. I remain with nothing. With nothing, I'm asked questions. And I think that is because of the interactions that happened at home, and there was a disconnect at some point. So there is a lot that requires to be done. Even right now when they're at home, as parents, we really need to seek God about what to do with our children, and we really need to come up with strategies of survival with them at home. We create things we can do to make them actually have a bond with us for that period of time that we are at home, and then also strategies that will help them survive even when mom, dad, caregiver is not there.
Wow. Wow, thank you very much. You have opened up a whole can of things that we need to discuss that are happening, that happened the previous time, and some of them are actually continuing even now. And I have met and interacted with teenagers who are saying, I do not want to go back home. They are the ones actually who are complaining, 7 weeks, let us stay in school. Because you see, school, at least the laws are there, and they know the laws, and they know they cannot break them. So it is not about kuonewa. But when they go home and the laws are being instituted, then it becomes, you don't love me anymore. You don't want me anymore.
It's because they were not there when the children were younger. You are coming to teach nearly a grown-up something, and you're coming with a lot of strength, and you want to show your authority. Ulimisa akiwa mdogo. You were not there. You were busy. She or he was with uncle, auntie, whoever is at home. And then amekuwa mkubwa, here you are, and you want them to follow a certain route, you know. You want them to perform a certain way, because now you've learned them, and you're like, wow, my child does not even wake up early in the morning. My child would not want to do any task. And then here you're trying to shape. See, at even a tree, we are told you cannot shape it when still, correct. So those interactions, if they missed out and you were not there, that's why they cannot identify with you as a parent. Most
of the parents, what I am getting from this conversation is most of the parents started missing out when the children were young.
True.
We neglected our responsibility when the children were young.
True.
And now we want to straighten them when they are now older. We want to change whatever things they have learned. We want to change them now that they are older, because we are seeing that at the end of the day, this thing is not good. And let me bring it back now to technology before we go to other matters. Technology. Right now, we are all using technology.
Correct.
We are using technology in church. We are using technology in schools. We are using technology almost everywhere. And you have pointed out something that is very important, that sometimes these children actually go faster than we do.
They do actually all the time.
All the time. That you will find them on phone, and the moment you step in the room, you will not know how fast this finger will move to close one tab and open another. And most of the times, they enjoy that because it is something that they know how to interact more actually on phone than physical. That right now they know how to text, they will chat, they will share photos, they will do all that. Sometimes unaingia kwa room, they are on their laptop and you're thinking, oh my god, this is an A student, and they are writing on Instagram.
Yes, they are not
they are not even reading anything.
Yeah.
And it is something that is very challenging. And most of the times we find out that these children were introduced to screen time very early, and now you want to withdraw. So now I want us to correct it from the beginning. For those of us that are raising the younger generation, what are some of the things we need to do? Matter screen time. Because now it is something we cannot escape from.
Yeah.
It is something they are learning from YouTube, they are learning from different places. So how can we regulate screen time so that even older, we know that if I withdraw this privilege, they will still feel that yes, it is not fair, but it is for my own good.
One, we appreciate the internet. It will be part of our lives forever. You know, we are in a digital age already, and we are still moving to more advanced sessions on the internet. Now, our children, and I have a young child, even when they start talking, they will pick the phone, you know, and they'll pretend to talk to even nobody. They know that phone is very important.
Yes.
Put a song for them on the phone. Already they are scrolling, and you're wondering, you don't even know how to feed yourself, but you're already scrolling,
yes.
You know, and you understand from an early age that they get, because that is the environment they are in, it is what they will interact with. So it is how to use it positively for the benefit of this child, because tomorrow if my child would want to become an engineer or whatever category of a person they would want to become, I need them to be well equipped, and therefore I engage with them on those platforms myself. Let me show them also, like now this YouTube thing, and every other person is getting to want to upload something. Let them know there are those things that are right to uphold. Come up with a method of teaching them right and wrong, you know. Let them know that there are sites. If you see mommy is saying this one, let us not go to that site, please let us not go to that site. And that means it is the standards that you'll have held for your children. And I'm telling you, it is not easy. It is not easy. It is something you have to do today, tomorrow, and the other day without getting tired. And then there is something we do as parents. At times we miss out. When I have already shown my child and I am sure they are in class, they are able to access and they're able to go to lessons, I now walk away and leave them now with the gadgets. Now that's where the problem comes in. Let us also have rules and regulations that standardize that period of time. Yes, I've given them time to be with these gadgets, but let me also check on what they do. You know, even if they are faster than us, Kanjago, you can bear me witness. At least to koerevu kidogo.
It gives us something we can do. We give ourselves credit.
It can give us some bit of wisdom. Also get to see what sites have they been going to. I was very astonished when like a small boy, class 4, you know, he was on screen time class. Mother walks away. It is the mother who was telling us the story. She walks away. And the child immediately minimizes. The child did not know the mother had put a camera somewhere. Child immediately minimizes the class, starts playing games because his age is for games. So when the mother realized, she came back, only for the child to minimize the game very fast and go back to class, and he's like,
He's still learning.
So if the mother is not keen enough also to check, because I know our phones, our gadgets can tell us what has been accessed before, then we can lose them. Again, if we don't have that consistency in also letting them know, I know you've seen this, I know you've been here. And again, also, I'm telling you, God really needs to give us a lot of wisdom, a lot of wisdom, because you cannot raise one child the way you raise another one.
Very true.
Every child
It's unique.
brings out a character in you that you never knew
you never
existed,
thought,
because you have to survive
Right.
with them and you have to mold them. So that idea of following up, that idea of letting them know right from wrong, and also asking them, is this really okay? And from them you will get to see there's a point, if they're not interested, they'll tell you it's not okay. But if they're interested, you will get to pick very fast what line of thought they are taking. And then from there, with the wisdom God gives you, you're able to divert them. But let us not leave them with the gadgets and just walk away and say, we are home scot-free. We are not. Because again, the devil doesn't sleep. You know,
Very true.
he uses the methods that are enticing to these children. And then we either lose them or regain them.
Very true.
Yeah.
And right now, even on matters screen time, there are people or their parents who avoid communicating with their children. They avoid that time that they will be together. Kwa sababu anajua atakasirika tu.
True.
There are so many things that this child will do, and you will want to hit them so hard that you will do something that is not very good.
Yeah.
And most of the time, these children have realized that actually my mom does not want to talk to me, and that is why every time I try and talk to her, she will draw something, my attention to something else. Either she will put something on telly, or she will give me her phone, or she will give me her laptop, and all that thing. They have learned how to manipulate the parents.
Yeah.
These kids are very wise. They know how to manipulate you. And most of the parents are falling into this trap, that their marriage is failing because they are not able to sustain a particular line of thought and a particular line of communication with their children. And most of the time, these children, wakishajua that my parent is avoiding me, then they will know that this lady, this man cannot talk to me. They cannot tell me anything, which is wrong actually in this generation.
It is.
So how do we correct that in matters screen time? That we know that yes, you might not be learning, because learning is diverse. Yes, they might be in a class Zoom, but there are moments that they will be on YouTube and they are learning something. There are moments that they will be on Facebook and they are learning something. Like right now, we are doing all our services on Facebook.
Yeah.
All our services on YouTube, all our services on TV.
Yeah.
So if you want them to go to Sunday school, Sunday school is now brought to them.
Kabisa.
And these are learning things that we would want them to have.
Yeah.
So how do we regulate screen time? And in the regulation of screen time, how do we bring back the communication, physical communication, that we can sit down and talk to our children? Actually sit down and all the screens are off, including our phones, because sometimes hata sisi tunafanya makosa.
Kabisa.
That you're telling them, you should not be on your phone all the time.
And I'm there.
And when you're telling them, you are telling them you should not be on your phone all the time. And it is very wrong that these children are seeing more than what you're saying.
True.
So how do we regulate screen time and introduce now communication, physical communication?
Wow. That's a very good question. Eh? Because like you say, we preach water and then we take wine, which is very contradictory. If we are preaching water, let us take water. In this sense, let me as a parent find time to sit with my child, like you're saying, without all those gadgets. And I know these gadgets, they are good, but again, they've taken us away from what is very important. It's important that I create time to show my children that we don't just play on gadgets. Let's go outside. Get dirty, run, fall, get hurt. And as you're doing that, I'm there with you, maybe telling you sorry or reprimanding you, or, you know, so that there is that period of time away from also the internet and all that. let us also create time just to sit and bond over meals. You know, if you're eating, let everybody be there seated, eating together, because in the process, one person will do something and the other one, and then you'll find someone even saying so and so it's like this, you know. And in the process of you having those conversations, you are bonding with each other. And you've said about our services, it's true, we have to come to on our online platforms because again of this the lockdown, we have to come down to our online platforms to attend our services. But after they're also done, can we also create time just to sit together and even ask one of us to pray, you know, or tell us what have you learned this week, or what have you done that is different. So it will take a lot of effort from me as a parent, and it has to be very intentional for me to create time with my children. And even that time, it might not be the whole day. Surely we are working parents, and the bills have to be paid and all that. But that time that I am sure I can get them, let me be there and let them know and let them feel me, so that they know when mommy is around, she wants things done this way. When daddy is around, we have to do things this way. And this is screen time and this is no screen time. We're also trying to work on that also ourselves, that we get time to sit and just share. You know, at times when you have teenagers, bringing up a topic, utajiongelesha, my friend, you know, let's discuss this topic, you know, but you have to find something that interests them, so that even when you're doing it, even if it's a game, a board game, or whatever else, at least they get to know you. Plus, our parents already know us. Our children, they know us. Wanatujua. They know up to a certain point, mommy will be there, and then atajikata, you know, daddy will be there until a certain point. So if that way that they've learnt us, let us also try to get out of the norm, the things we are used to doing. You know, hold their hand, go with them to the kitchen. If it's someone you see has an interest in cooking, you know, if it is someone you know has an interest in a ball game, make time to go with them, so that even tomorrow when you're reprimanding them, inside dingine ushatengeneza base, you know, you are catching base on an area. But if you don't catch base on any area, then even the simplest of tasks will be done with a lot of challenge, because you have no relationship with the children.
Wow, thank you very much. Let us hold that thought there. We're going to go for a break. Thank you very much for keeping it Elevate TV, Marriage and Bliss, Advancing Kingdom Lifestyle. I hope that you're communicating with us on all our social media platforms at Marriage and Bliss, at Elevate TV, and we are sure that we are learning from Teacher Pauline, and it is just an amazing time where we are exposing these things because we have our teenagers at home. So do not touch that dial. See you after the break, and we find out what are some of the solutions we have to grow up, to bring up our children or our teenagers, so that at the end of the day we are proud of them. So do not touch that dial. See you after the break.
Kids Entertainment.
I have the enemy in sight. 18 degrees by 4 degrees.
Inspiring moments.
In life's journey, there is that one defining moment.
I remember I touched them, they were still warm. And I just told them sorry.
Deep conversations on spiritual, political, and economic issues.
In 2017, you offered your candidacy for the President of the Republic of Kenya.
Top local gospel tunes. Youthful, engaging conversations.
The person who won me over to Christ, before I came to know he was a pastor, we already clicked, we already developed a very strong rapport.
Powerful live church services.
God was in the business of restoring apostles to the body of Christ.
So welcome back. This is Marriage and Bliss. My name is Kanjago. I hope you're enjoying the show. Today we are learning parenting teenagers through crisis. We are having a crisis in our nation, and most of us as parents, we don't know how to parent our teenagers, because most of the time they're spending time in school, they're spending time with their friends, they're spending time with their grandmothers, they're spending time with their uncles, and most of the times we as parents are not spending time with them. So today we have a wonderful guest who is just opening up things that we need to be discussing with our children, things that we need to start communication on, so that at the end of the day we bring healing to our children. Someone said on this show that most of the times as parents we are wounding our children, and they become wounded people who are wounding others. So we are trying to find out ways and means that we can use to heal these children, these teenagers, so that at the end of the day when we come back to them, when they grow up, they are happy that they were brought up by us as parents. So thank you very much, Teacher Pauline, for opening up these things. There's a good thing that you have brought up away from screen time, that we find things that our children love, because these teenagers are yearning, are crying out for time to spend time with their parents. A story is told of a child who asked the father, "How much are you paid an hour?" And the dad told him 5,000 shillings every hour. And the boy just said, okay. So after a long time, he came back and told this child that, yes, I know you are paid this much every hour, and I have been able to accumulate 3,000. So kindly add me 2,000 so that I can pay for an hour of your time. And this is a challenge that we are having in our generation, that most of us as parents, we don't have time for our children. Our teenagers are crying out, calling out to these parents to come and just do things with them. So there's a point that you have brought up that is very important, that if you realize that your child loves cooking, go with them to the kitchen. But this is where the challenge is. Most of the times, food is prepared by the house help. Us as parents, we have made ourselves so busy that we are not available at our homes. Saa hizi ndio watoto wengine wanajua baba yao ni wa black ama ni wa yellow because of the curfew. And because now daddy is coming home before 8. And this is the only time I am able to see my dad before I sleep. So how do we as parents discipline ourselves to the point that, yes, I know I have so much, I don't need curfew to make me go home early. I don't need the government directive to say that you cannot go outside Nairobi for me to have time to spend with my child. Because most of us, weekend ni siku ya kuenda party after party. And we are going outside of the town. And we are coming back on Sunday. We are tired. We want to go and sleep and start another week. So what are some of the ways that we can identify the things that our children love and then bring them out and hold their hands? Because some of them will not be very intellectual. Some of them will not become professors and teachers and doctors and everything, but they will become very good chefs. And they will become very good chefs because you trusted them. You affirmed them. You showed them ways that they can learn how to cook through the different media that we have. You also taught them, bought them books, sat them down and showed them, this is how food is prepared. This is what you need. This is what you need. Some of them are very good at swimming. You take them out for swimming so that they can build that charisma. And they know that my dad, my mom has really appreciated what I do. So how do you identify? Then after identifying, how do you work with the child until they become good?
Thank you. I'll give two quotes I've read somewhere. One says, don't tell me what to do. Show me what to do. Show me what to do. And that one is very key with our teenagers. Don't tell them, show them. The second quote is, there is a genius in each of us. There is a genius. So that child you look at and at times you don't understand them. There is a genius in that child. And you've said at times we have given our responsibilities to the people we have employed. And we have given them mandate over our children to an extent that that girl will tell the child stop and the child stops. then you're there. Kwa nini mimi unisikiangi? Because the child does not know you. You never showed them. This girl has told them, stop, usifanye hivi tena. You tomorrow you're coming with your beating, you're not even saying anything, you're just angry because they broke a cup or whatever else when you are not there, or when you're there and you are doing something very important. Yeah. So they see as if they are not as important. So that delegating of duty is too much. To an extent, ebu ende wambie auntie kile umefanya. So auntie is the one chastising the child, auntie is the one showing the child the direction, and you are missing out. So I agree with you there. We are actually missing out as parents. We have failed to affirm ourselves, and we have failed to bring out the genius from our children, because instead of looking at them and their strengths, we are looking at them and how will they avoid. You know, you cannot teach someone a not. You teach them to do something. So you cannot keep telling, wacha kufanya hiyo, wacha ku. When will you say, do this, do the other? So we should teach a do, not a not. Teach a do, and do that do. If there's something like that. Yeah, whatever you want them to do, let them also see you doing, you know. We've been told there's a lockdown at certain area, and you're there telling them, tutapita baba, usijali, ingieni hapo nyuma na mnyamaze, mtaona vile nitahandle hiyo polisi. What are you teaching them? A bad do. And the moment they do it tomorrow, it becomes a don't. So let us also be straight with what we say and what we show them to do. And then we nurture those things inside them. And I'm telling you, teenagers are not a joke. Those people already know what direction they want to pick. Those people already have made up their minds. So you really have to be very friendly with them. You have to be firm, but friendly and fair. If you're not firm, you're not friendly, and you're not fair, you lose them. Remain friendly. Atakuchezea hata hapa juu ya kichwa, you know. Become again too firm without having a point where you compromise. Again, you lose them because they don't understand you. So also get to know their tune. Play to their tune once in a while, you know. If there is a place you can compromise without bringing down your standards, then reach a point of compromise. Si ati kila saa hata ni kukaa kwa nyumba, mkule hapo kwa nyumba, you know. Find, akikwambia I want to go and take something somewhere, you find a compromise. I know there is lockdown and there is all this, but there is a way you can find a compromise. Do a picnic with them. Let them feel the environment has changed. And then also we are locking them up as if they are really, I would not want to use a different name that would not mean very well, but there are children who came and complained, my parents were locking the door to the house, the gate, you know, and then they are always leaving. So we could not understand how come they are always leaving, and as we cannot leave the door, kutoka tu hapo nje, we cannot even go to the gate. Kwani this corona only knows my name. This corona doesn't know my parents, you know. So let them also, even as we are doing some things, let them also understand. Yeah, there are these measures that have been put in place, but surely I need to go to work, I need to do the other. The way you can support me the best is to follow these things that we've agreed to do. I don't want to forget to say this. Let us please check on also the friendships we allow. Most of us as parents, we've seen my girl has a friendship with another girl. My boy has a friendship with another boy. So there's no harm. And that's where, again, the problem is coming in. Because they have interacted to an extent, they know you'd not be afraid to have a sleepover of several girls. So they have started forming relationships that are not positive amongst themselves. So they also tend to turn their sexuality towards that direction. Something that for us as Christians is totally unacceptable. So at the end of the day, if you fail again to check on some of these things, I think it all boils down to ukue tu macho, kaa macho, 24/7, firm, friendly, fair.
Wow.
Hakuna kitu ingine.
So guys out there, I hope that you're learning firm, friendly, and fair. For you to win over your teenager, your teen child, your teen boy, teen girl, you need to be firm, fair, and friendly. That those three I hope you have written them somewhere, because they are going to help us a lot, even as we are bringing up the children. So, and continue engaging with us on all our social media platforms at Marriage and Bliss on Facebook and Instagram, and also at Elevate TV on all our social media platforms. So you have brought up something that is very important, that is actually creeping in, and as parents, we don't know how to come about it. How do we start the conversation on sexuality when it comes to our teenagers? And most of them have learned things from either the internet, from their friends, or from other people out there.
Correct.
And most of the times, we come to reprimand them when we did not take the opportunity that we had to train them. So it is our responsibility to train them, to come and tell them. The conversations will start from us, not from them. Not when you have realized, this child, the things they are doing. That is when now you start coming and telling them, you know what sex is? They already know. They already know what is happening. So how do we start the conversation on sexuality? Because most of our teenagers are getting into queer behaviors. They're getting into lesbianism. They're getting into gayism. They're getting into pornography. They're getting into masturbation, and it is hurting them. And at the end of the day, some of them are actually crying out and saying, I do not know how to get out of this thing. And I cannot tell my dad. I cannot tell my mom, because they will kill me.
Kabisa. In fact, those are the words they use. They'll kill me.
Yes.
Because we've just been the killers of the home, you know. We are the ones who murder them physically without any, you know, you don't even want to, nistaki kusikia, you know, you're just beating.
It's beating.
Sexuality is not a topic that most parents are very comfortable speaking about with their children, yet it is something we need to talk about. Like now, you ask, how did you know you are a girl? How did you know you are a boy? Unajua sisi kulikuwa na vile ulikuwa unaenda ukikaa kwa shushu na mko kwa moto na ukai vibaya na kurushia moto, weka vizuri wewe ni msichana, and from there you are okay, so I'm a girl. But now they have the internet that is showing them and telling them who they are. And you know, the person who tells you who you are, you tend to pick their traits. You tend to behave like them because you measure yourself as per their standard.
Very true.
So we really need to raise the standard of what our children see of us and what they watch also. Now, the thing is, sexuality cannot be avoided. If as a parent I cannot talk about it, there are people who can talk about it.
Right.
They are counselors. You know, expose your child to a counselor who can talk about it. And when those sessions are going on, be there, be present, because in the process you get to learn, so I can say it this way, so I can say it this other way, because like I said, every child is brought up very differently, because all of us have different characters. So get to engage someone else and be present when those sessions are going on. Because again, gather the courage. Mtoto ni wako. Talk to them. You know, let them know this is wrong. If someone does this to you, please don't keep quiet. If someone says this to you, do not keep quiet. And you see, it is anyone, starting from your sibling to your uncle, auntie, to your caregiver, to whoever. And it's very sad that the enemy has crept in even to use our parents to molest us. So let them not keep quiet. And at times they have the upper hand, because they threaten. If you say, I'll not pay your fee, I'll not feed you, I will not, ensure that at least your child has someone they trust. When you are the one with the interest of the child at heart, let there be someone else they trust. If you cannot have that conversation, let someone else have that conversation with them as early as possible, asifike teenage kama ajasikia. Because even today, when they are still very young, they are doing so much. You know, the internet at times gives us stories, I don't know how true they are, of even younger boys who are marrying very old women, you know, they are nearly at their teen age. So those things should also be, you know, a signal. They should signal us things are not okay. And let us not take down the value of even praying for these children, because when I'm able to pray for my child, God will definitely give me wisdom about how to handle this particular child, and also to find out who are those people I know who have stood the test of time and they can actually talk to them. And the problem again is that our children have not learned the art of listening wanajua tu kusikia, and you know there's hearing and there's listening, you know,
True.
paying attention. And we can teach them that by even letting them sit down and even take down notes, even if it will be you know, you have your na kiboko, chini, take a pen, write what you hear. We are going to listen to this session, write. It could be 10-15 minutes, but that writing also, that child will one day remember.
Very
Train
true.
up a child in the way he should go, and he will never depart from it.
Very
So that way it has to be taught, and we have to begin when they are young. But now, what if they are already at their teenage and they have already gotten to mistakes? One, ni mistakes, you mtoto mistake. So it is something that could be corrected.
Very true.
That's a question you asked me at some point. Number two, give them an environment that they feel safe communicating what their challenge is. If they don't feel safe with you, there must be an auntie and uncle they feel safe around.
true.
Engage that auntie or uncle and let them be someone who is very mature, someone you can share with all the challenges. Na approach you mtoto ni kama huyo mtoto ni, you know, an angel who has never made any mistake. So they give the child a clean slate to let themselves go open. Then also, like I said, find a compromise, a place you can compromise. This child loves music. Fine. How do I use this music? Expose them to it to an extent that they feel safe also with this parent who is able to compromise. Unajua, at times we even learn some dance moves, si kwa sababu nataka, ni kwa sababu hapo ndo mta interact, you know. Yeah, so that at least every other time we are able to interact with them. Also give them airtime to listen to you. Okay, you listen to them, and then let them also learn to listen to you. Na sisi pia tukue na consistency. Si ati leo ninasema hivi wiki mzima niko sawa, next week siko, I'm only talking to them over the phone, you know, I'm only dishing out orders, you know, and all those things. Then maybe, I know there are many points because like I said, every child is brought up differently. Let us also learn to engage our children with physical tasks. Physical tasks. Wacha jioshe viatu. They might not get very clean, but even if someone is going to do it again, let the child also know, I need to know how to wash my shoes. Let them arrange where their clothes are put. Let them make their own bed. In all that mess, they are learning something because they are able to organize ideas in their heads even as they organize those clothes. You'll find their clothes are strewn all over and you're there complaining as you Kuja. Collect.
Exactly. True.
What is right? What is clean? Fold, put there. What is not clean? Tomorrow, let me find what is not. You know, in the process, they're able also to organize. Even when they get to the office, they know trash goes here, good things. You know,
not everything is everywhere.
Not everything is everywhere. And we started when we were the children were younger. And it is a journey you don't achieve on a day. And at times it backfires on you to an extent. At times hata kwa pasta mwambie ule mzazi si wangu, you know, I don't want to see them
this is no
near
longer
me.
my father.
Yes, because at least they've now started to learn when this man is not serious, is not going down anytime soon. He's very serious, and I have to follow his whatever. And when that time comes, then also the child has gotten to learn this is how things should be done. And when they get out of your home and they are now alone and they are able to make their own decisions, they will always live by the standards you set.
Very true.
Even us, as you do something and you're like, if my mom were here, kubali. So you make a decision based on what you learned when you were younger. So let us not assume we are bending a tree when it's early and it will take the shape that it needs to take.
Wow, that is very true. And guys out there, I hope you're learning, because I've realized that people out there are actually getting to this point where themselves they're dressing very badly, and they are there telling the children nikuone
Kabisa.
Nikuone umewaiva, ama mtoto akivaa atokee, unatoka wapi, unaenda wapi?
Or others we assume we didn't see.
Others we decide, we just decide because it is a decision we make. We decide, she's still young. There's nothing that will happen. And I think you've brought up something very important, that we find someone that they are comfortable with, so that if anything happens and they're not comfortable telling you that this thing has happened, they have someone they can easily run to. There is that uncle, there's that auntie they can run to and tell them this has happened. Because for you, they will be afraid to some extent, depending on how you have parented.
Kabisa.
They will be afraid to come and say, Daddy, this one touched me here. this one did this, and they know that you will just tell them it was your fault. Ulikuwa unafanya nini huko? Kwa nini and all that thing, it explodes. They know that there is this one person that they can easily run to, that there is a safe place that they can go to.
And someone who can also communicate to you, because they can run and tell them, and then the person never communicates to you. And also, maybe to add to what you're saying, let us also teach them how to journal. Let them journal their experiences, because we are always told, if you want to hide something from a fool, put it down. And let us not be fools. Let's buy them those journals. Let's encourage them to write their experiences. And because we're also looking to know what our children are into, find time
to go and read.
To read that journal. Because there they will write what they feel, what they experienced. And when we teach them to journal, even those feelings that keep accumulating, you know, they go down the moment you're releasing them on that piece of paper. Even before you tell anybody, that journaling is already releasing a lot of pressure. Yeah. And in the process of them writing, when they're communicating their feelings, even one time when you read, you can understand, by the way, my child has been suffering, or my child has this strength that I've never understood just from the journals.
Wow. Thank you very much. Guys out there, I believe that you have learned a lot. This conversation has not ended. We are just putting a pause. We need to come back to this conversation. If you're out there and you support us that we need to continue this conversation, kindly just engage with us on all our social media platforms at Marriage and Bliss, at Elevate TV, and I know that we will continue this conversation. Thank you very much. You have taught us a lot of things, and I believe that from here, these are things that guys out there will continue to do, that we are raising our children. That child, that teenager that you have in your home is your responsibility, and you need to own up that responsibility, that you find people that they can talk to. We've been told that there's that uncle, there's that auntie, there's a counselor that you can talk to. And one thing that is very important, when you take them for counseling, be present also, so that you learn on some of the things that they are learning, the wordings that they are using, so that you're able to also communicate with them. Usimrushie counselor venye unamrushianga mwalimu, unaamua tu wacha aende. So Teacher Pauline, thank you very much for coming. We really appreciate. We know that we will have you again and again. We really appreciate your time and your effort and your knowledge and your wisdom that you have released to us. We really appreciate. We hope that next time we call you, you'll be available.
Yes, and we want to raise teenagers who can come to Marriage and Bliss and actually do wonders.
Wow, amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time, same place, same time. This is Marriage and Bliss. My name is Kanjagwa, advancing Kingdom Lifestyle.